Texas A&M. Where does Jimbo Fisher have the Aggies? And really, to me, that was the number one story of the SEC schedule release for 2024. And that is that if Jimbo doesn't hit it out of the park in 2024, when's he going to do it? Because he is not going to get an SEC schedule as favorable as that 2024 release. And just in terms of the politics, like this was Sankey in the SEC's way of throwing Texas A&M a bone for allowing Oklahoma and Texas to come into the conference, right? I think most people would agree on that. But Texas A&M better feast at the table, having been thrown this bone, because not playing Georgia, Bama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, okay, so here we go, Jimbo. You better make something of this. You better be able to win at least 10 and probably 11. And of course, now this is where I'm briefly going to put on my USC hat. All right. If we compare USC's 2024 schedule to Texas A&M's 2024 schedule, precisely because A&M's SEC schedule is largely bereft of the high-end SEC heavyweights. There's no argument, there's no debate. If either team goes 11-1, that's you're making the 12-team playoff. But 10-2, right? 10-2 is going to be that Mendoza line, 50-50. If you get that record, are you in the 12-team playoff or not? That's going to be the middle ground where you might get into some really tense, contentious arguments. Well, because Texas A&M's 2024 schedule, all right, you have Notre Dame there, but then the SEC schedule is really a lot lighter than it could have been, or one could say should have been. If USC and Lincoln Riley go 10-2 in 2024, and Jimbo and A&M also go 10-2 in 2024, it's clear USC will get into the playoff first. I mean, maybe Texas A&M gets in, but USC will be first in line if those two teams are involved in a 10-2 dispute for a 2024 at-large berth in the college football playoff. USC will definitely get first in line if the Trojans and the Aggies both have the same record. So, hey, Jimbo, I would strongly advise that you go 11-1 in 2024 if you want to have a long-term successful career in College Station. First off, because if you're 10-2, you're probably not getting in. And if you're probably not getting in 2024, well, the SEC schedules you're going to face in 2025, 6, 7, 8 they're all going to be tougher than this one, because you just got the jackpot in 2024. So Jimbo Fisher, 2024 is really going to be an if not now, when type of season in College Station.
So I don't think that anyone with half of a brain for college football would argue that this is a weak schedule in comparison to schedules across the country. But for an SEC schedule, I'm right there with you, Matt. I did not look at this specifically. I don't remember looking at Texas A&M's schedule. Who's the best program in the conference? Well, it's Georgia currently. There's no Georgia. There's no Alabama. So right out of the gate, I wonder how many teams are missing both of them. It's got to be very few.
Yep. It has to be very few. I haven't done the research, but it has to be very few. Like LSU is the best team on that schedule. Period.
Now, I'm not saying that Tennessee has established itself as a power, but who was the third best team in the SEC last year? Or arguably the second best team in the SEC? Well, it was Tennessee. They're not there. So you could argue that they're missing the three best teams in the conference, at least as it currently stands.
You're missing three of the top four. And LSU is the one of the top four that landed on the schedule. Yes, it's just a remarkably favorable schedule. Now, wow. I mean, not to say, and of course, not to say for any Florida Gator fans that going to Gainesville is going to be, piece of cake, but it's the non-Alabama, non-Georgia, non-Tennessee part of it. That's what we're all focusing on, to avoid all three of those. So Jimbo, you want to earn all that oil money that's been flowing your way the past several years? Well, 2024, time to deliver, baby.
Yeah, and 2024 is going to be a, 8th season for Jimbo Fisher? So if he has not delivered by then.
Yep. I mean, if he goes 8-4 against that, I mean, he's done, right? He has to be done if he goes 8-4 in 2024, after presumably not doing anything particularly special in 2023. One would have to think that's it. You're gone.
And again, based on my evaluation, if somebody was running into the schedule in the ACC, that would be different. You know,
Totally different. Yeah,
they're
sure.
all quality. They're all quality, capable, talented programs, but
Yes.
they're all almost all of them are mid-tier or lower tier SEC outside of LSU.
And the fact that you will have a 16-team SEC, which is supposed to be bigger and better and badder than ever, and you're missing all those programs in the top tier, it's going to become that much more conspicuous how favorable this schedule really is, which concurrently it ramps up the pressure on Jimbo to really deliver something special. And by special again, we mean 11-1, because if he's 10-2, that's going to put A&M toward the back of the line. Might not eliminate them, but it's certainly going to put the Aggies in the back of the line behind a potential 10-2 USC, 10-2 Michigan, which is playing USC in the Big Ten in 2024. So like, because the Big Ten's going to be souped up, like that's another plot point where if you're 10-2 in the SEC, well, you better have at least one heavyweight win in the mix if you're going to get one of those at-large berths in the 12-team playoff. The window is clearly more narrow for A&M in 2024 if it goes 10-2. It's going to be in the back of the line relative to other blue bloods. Or I should say relative to blue bloods, not other blue bloods, because A&M isn't a blue blood. I had to catch myself there.
Not currently, not historically. And if you believe in the semantics that I do, if you're not historically, then you aren't currently. Clemson being an example, they could win 20 national championships in a row, at least based on my definition. I'm not saying it's the only definition, but if you're not a blue blood at any point, they're elite. Clemson's elite or has been elite, but I don't consider them a blue blood because they have not historically been elite since the days of black and white and leather helmets. The Amazon link's in the description section, folks. It doesn't cost you a penny. Please use the Amazon link and help us grow the voice of college football.